So, long story short, apparently Kurio Games accidentally launched a new version of Whimpering Wastes that is currently causing a lot of people a lot of issues, and quite honestly, if I didn't have an S6 Rosia, I probably would too. So let's cut to shit, let's hop straight into it and see if I can triple S rank the hardest reset in Wuthering Waves history. Make sure you like and subscribe, by the way. Bye. Commentary over the Whimpering Wastes gameplay that you're going to see here in the back. I pretty much had to min-max and make sure that these first couple waves of these like Lottie Losts or whatever the hell these things are called, I had to make sure all these guys were for the most part defeated by the time that the elites showed up. I was kind of using the explosion damage from Midnight Veil, the like buffed outro skill damage from that set on Rosia, to kind of help nuke those because of that whole concerto regen factor on the first wave. It kind of acts as a nice little burst of AoE damage combined with obviously Rosia's built-in AoE damage to try and clear those guys out. So by the time that I get to these elites here, I have the full, absolutely just unadulterated rotation from Shorekeeper to Mortefi to Rosia, and then it's pretty much just gonna be this same exact thing every single time going forward up until like the last 5 or 10 seconds. I will kind of describe what I had to go through right there, but for the most part, this took a decent number of tries. Mostly just because I didn't quite think about doing the whole Midnight Veil swap out thing until a bit later. I just tried doing regular rotations and get it up and running as fast as possible, but it ended up being slower. It ended up being slower by like at least a few hundred points. So doing it this way, again, I was able to make sure that my strongest slams from my Rosia during these rotations, she is S6 obviously, I was able to make sure that the strongest slams were used to try and get rid of the elites as fast as possible, because generally speaking they were the wall to this, because if I tried to do it the normal way, the small enemies weren't the issue. It's mostly the elites, because if they do have a chance to spread out, I don't know if it was like my controller was busted or what, but I couldn't even summon the magic box from Rosia, and I was too lazy to reset my game and figure out what the hell was going on or get off the controller and get to the mouse and keyboard. So I kind of just had to raw dog it without the magic box. Probably would have been a bit easier so I could like, you know, group them up a bit easier, but it is what it is. So coming towards the end of the challenge on the first round here, I think it's during the last 10 seconds, I more or less have to half-ass a rotation, swap from Mortefi straight back into Rosia, and then just try and nuke the last wave of elites as fast as possible and get a couple bounces in during like the last couple seconds. That's kind of what helped me finally push the score up to as high as you're gonna see it. Obviously, this whole reset for Whimpering Waste right now has been an absolute disaster, and I am glad that they're going to be fixing it, because I have no clue how the hell they expect you to triple S rank this as a free-to-play, but it is what it is. And to show you, I actually kind of end up bugging the game out here because I did a counter with that slam, so the enemies are still here, and I can still kill them, but you can see right there on the top left side of that screen right there, the points aren't going up. I just thought it was weird. You know, I was killing them for the meme. This doesn't affect the points at all. It didn't affect my score at the end. It was just a weird bug. So, Kurio Games, if you're seeing this, you might want to fix that, but that's still pretty funny. So, going on into the second wave. So, this is my totally super invested Camellia team with double intro Verena Sanhua, I believe. So, my Verena has nothing on her. All of her skills are level 1, I'm pretty sure. I don't have much invested on her at all. That's probably my fault. I think she's like level 70. I'm not too sure. My Sanhua in this video, you know, I had noticed that my rotations with her were just a tad bit slower than I was used to, and I didn't know what was going on, and we're actually going to see how badly I messed that up later, but it might be because she has a level 1 training sword on. And I feel really stupid looking back on the gameplay and seeing that, but I haven't used Camellia in a fortnight, so pardon me, because I am not the end-game meta gamer. So I've only used Camellia a handful of times because I was still building her. I think I finally got her skills up to 10, 10, 10, the ones that matter anyway. And, you know, I got the sword. I finally ranked up the sword all the way, and then I was in the process of trying to get echoes that weren't rolled like absolute horse shit. Because for the most part, I think I only have like a 50-60% chance to crit, and my crit damage is not high. It is not high. It's like 260. It's really bad. But all I needed to do was super hard carry on my ultra invested S6 Rosia, and then barely do anything on this next round. But at minimum, I needed to score like 1300. So I was still sweating my balls off. My Sanhua as well, I think she's maybe level 80. She is S6, but pretty sure she's using a training sword. She does no damage at all. I do not have her invested in at all. Probably my fault. A lot of this probably would have been easier. That first round probably would have been easier because I know my Mortefi is using a level 20 Cadenza, I think is what it's called. It's the Concerto pistol. And I know damn sure my Mortefi only has level 1 skills, but here we have these stupid Chop Chops here sprinting away to the sides of the screen because it's kind of what they're programmed to do. Kuro games definitely need to fix that. Because, I mean, it does ruin your time. It does mess shit up. Outside of the wolves, obviously, all dispersing and splitting up as much as possible. But here we have my absolutely atrocious second turn, not second turn, but second wave here on the other side. Managed to nuke them at the end there with the ult. I managed to get a couple hits in, but it doesn't matter. It's 1,300 points. But overall, I did manage to pull out a score of 5870, which I think is pretty sweet, considering how freaking hard this reset is for. So anyway, this is just me going through showing that this is the few days or so before the patch goes live in 2.2 that's set to fix all of the problems with this iteration of Whimpering Waste, and hopefully forever for Whimpering Waste. I'm just going through showing that the hamster event's still happening, Brant's still here, his weapon's still here, but I did manage to clear it. If I didn't have an S6 Rosia, this wouldn't have been anywhere near possible because I am far too boosted for that, but we're just going to go through. There you can see Rosia's build. I do have Tragic Comedy on her, all fully invested Echoes on Midnight Veil. I do have her at 10-10 pretty much everything. S6, my Mortefi with level 1 skills, level 0 Echoes. He's also S6, Energy Regen with a level 20 Cadenza. Shorekeeper, not fully invested weapon, decently upgraded Echoes, not really fully invested stats. Also S0. We have Camellia here with a exceptionally awful crit rate, crit damage spread, her signature weapon, fully upgraded, skills somewhat invested in, and Echoes that are just rolled like absolute piss. We have Sanhua here at S6 with a level 1 training sword, level 0 Echoes, S6 as well. And we do have my Verena with a variation on, and I think it's R3. Some decently invested in skills, not really, I think they're level 1, but yeah, it was an absolute shit show. If you really liked what you saw, make sure you drop a like and a sub if you're excited to see what kind of content comes out in the future. Hopefully Whimpering Waste doesn't end up going down the line of just, you know, her getting S6 5-star and you win the game. I mean, it's really insanely hard this time around, and I'm really hoping it ends up being much easier for people down the line, because if I was a free-to-play, there is no way in hell I would have done this. I am far too boosted for that shit. But I guess, you know, credit card diff. But anyway, make sure you like, make sure you sub, and we'll see you here in the future.